You want me to do that for a while?
If you'd like. Whoop. All right. This project almost didn't happen because of one careless mistake. Hello friends and welcome back. If you watched our original bucking table build, you know we've been trying to work smarter, not harder. But as years creep up on us, even that wasn't enough. We realized that if we want to keep heating our home with our own wood well into our 70s, we needed a true one-person processing center, a setup where gravity and mechanics do the heavy lifting, keeping the logs flowing smoothly from the forest to our woodshed deck.
The goal was simple. Reduce our effort by only taking the minimal steps necessary, require little to no lifting, and above all, provide us with maximum safety. But as you're about to find out in just a minute or so, the Homestead had a few other plans for us this month.
Step one was getting the raw materials. We were dropping trees, limbing them out and hauling the 8-foot logs with our trusty little lawn tractor. Val and I were tag teaming it, feeling pretty good about our pace. We were burning the slash in our deep pit, keeping the workplace clean. But when you're feeling good, that's exactly when complacency sneaks in. I made a stupid choice that almost cost me my leg. I took off my brand new chainsaw chaps because I wasn't sure how to secure them tightly, and they kept sliding down and feeling uncomfortable. I kept tripping over them as they slid down over my shoes. Val had bought them for me because I kept ripping my pants legs and she was worried about me cutting myself badly. At our age, any injury is probably a bad one. Just a little while later, while trimming up another tree, the bar kicked. If you've ever wondered if those chaps are worth the money, they are. It cost us almost a week of work and a whole lot of humility. Lesson learned. If your safety gear doesn't fit right, don't throw it out. Go buy a pair that fits. A chainsaw just doesn't care. Once the knee healed up enough to let me hobble around, it was time to rebuild. We tore down the old bucking tabletop and moved the frame to its permanent home. To handle the literal tons of weight we're going to drop on this thing, we went down to our local Amish sawmill and picked up some massive, rough-cut 4x4 beams. There's nothing quite like the smell of fresh, local rough-cut pine to get a project back on track. Time to move some large rocks out of our way to make room for our new processing area. Then it's time to move the bucking table base into its final location before we begin adding those heavy 4x4s. That base is heavy enough as it is. Then we've got to move our wood splitter into position. We'll adjust its location after we've begun using our new process. Now it's time for those 4x4s. I'll bring them over for Val and she'll lay them out precisely so that when we cut our logs into rounds, they'll all be exactly 15 inches apiece. Val likes them a tiny bit smaller than usual so they'll fit easily through the wood stove opening. She'll start on one end, measure over 14 inches, and leave a 2-inch gap, and then put another beam at 16 inches. She'll rinse and repeat until all of the beams are in place. Finally, the last one gets screwed down. Now we'll just add the final touch. After we snap a line to keep our row of bottom bracing even, some diagonal cut pieces get screwed down to the end to prevent the logs from rolling off. And there you have it. Our upgraded bucking table is ready to get some work done. Be sure to check out our original DIY build video if you like this project. It's a real back saver. Now for the secret that makes all of this a true one-person operation, the overhead Skyline. To bridge the gap between where the tractor drops the logs and where the bucking table sits, we decided to hang a high line that crosses over the bucking table at an angle. I looked online for standard 3/8-inch cable, but found a little gold mine secret. A 100-foot heavy 3/8-inch replacement winch cable on Amazon was actually cheaper than buying lengths of raw cable or by the foot. So I climbed my ladder and wrapped the cables up as high on the maples as possible and tensioned it as tightly as I could by hand. And I've got to tell you, 100 feet of any cable is heavy all by itself. But to be safe, I got a cable large enough to handle 5,660 pounds, so I've got a lot of leeway in what I can lift. And because we have the cable crossing over our bucking table, we can drop a log anywhere in the vicinity, hook it up to our chain hoist, and glide it right onto it. It gives us a lot of flexibility in our process. All of this didn't go without a hitch, however. It took us a couple of tries to get the cable just the way we wanted it, and I'm thankful I opted for the 100 feet of cable rather than my initial idea of just 50 feet.
Just as the cable went up, the universe pressed pause again. First, my gallbladder decided it had had enough. We had to make an emergency run to the hospital. Thankfully, living where we do in St. Lawrence County, we're in what you would call Goldilocks zone for senior citizen off-gridders. We're deep in the beautiful woods, but the top-tier emergency room was only 25 minutes away. If you want to learn more about what this means to us older folks, we'll add a link to the Goldilocks video in the description below.
Right there, just behind our solar shed. With everyone healed up and the smoke cleared, we finally got to test out the ergonomics of our system. Look at this flow. The lawn tractor drops the log. The skyhook lifts it. In just a couple of days prior to Val's emergency room trip, a large wildfire broke out right over on our neighbor's property, about 100 yards from us. It took several local fire companies working tirelessly and the wind changing directions to blow away from us to finally get it contained.
Now coming. Whoop! Here, let me get this one since it's so small.
Yeah.
I can.
I cut the rounds, and because of how we positioned the 23-ton log splitter right between the table and the shed, the rounds go straight from the bucking table to the splitter. No bending over, no lifting from the ground. We split it, turn it, and toss it right onto the woodshed deck. Homesteading in your 60s isn't about proving how tough you are. It's about proving how smart you can work. This processing center doesn't just make firewood easier, it buys us time. It gives us a few more years, maybe a decade or more, of being completely self-sufficient for our own heating source.
It turns a multi-person back-breaking chore into a one-person assembly line. Even on days when Al is doing the cutting, I can handle the hoisting, the splitting, without feeling it in my back the next morning. If you want to see how we built the foundation for our whole processing area, check our woodshed video and our original bucking table build. Don't forget to check the links below for that winch cable, the chain hoist, and the safety gear that saved Al's leg. Until the next time, work safe, neighbors, and keep moving forward.